Now, The Hunt Palmer Show.
He needs care and treatment.
You are now listening to The Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Guarantee Health Solutions on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Is this a great country or what?
Locking down the middle of the day, live from the Raising Cane studio. This is Hunt Palmer.
Welcome in. Hunt Palmer coming to you from the Raising Cane studio downtown in the capital city on this Monday. That means we're brought to you by Guarantee Health Solutions. Hope a work week's off to a good start. Last Monday before we get into game week. Week from right now, we'll be just reacting to Lane Kiffin's Monday press conference before LSU and Clemson. One more week of the offseason for us. And we've got tons to do today. Saints-Rams back on Saturday. Woof. We will talk about it in 15 minutes. LSU grabbed a backcourt mate for Sky Clark. It's Donovan Dent from UCLA. We'll talk about it at 1:30. Rachel Fricke from Guarantee Health Solutions is going to be with us coming up at the end of the hour. We'll do Meet the Freshman one more time, including Lamar Brown. We'll hear from Kellen Moore after Saturday's game, and Lane Kiffin from what he just had to say about 20 minutes ago. Plenty to get to on this Monday. Got Jordan Kitchens, Cassie Spazzali back there on the ones and twos. Let's get it started with our opening drive.
Welcome to the big league.
It's time for Hunt's Opening Drive, presented by Fabry Chevrolet GMC in St. Francisville.
All right, LSU is back at the headlines in college football, and for most, not for the right reasons. But LSU is taking a couple of commitments in late August for the team that's about to play from the National Football League. Daquan Wright, tight end from Ole Miss, who has spent time with the Eagles and the Browns, and Junior Tuihalamaka, who finished his career at Notre Dame last year after 4 seasons, have both publicly committed to LSU, and it's got everybody going nuts because you've got folks that are coming off the field and on the sidelines of an NFL preseason game for the Browns, and then theoretically showing up at LSU and suiting up for the Tigers to play against Clemson 2 weeks later. Wild times. I'll fully admit that. Wild times. I gave you my thoughts on this last week. I'm not doing a bunch of hand-wringing today. People will criticize LSU. There's no question about it. But Lane Kiffin just spoke and said, look, here's the deal. A judge said these guys are eligible. The judge ruled that they should have been told they were eligible for 5th year back in December when they were making decisions. They didn't believe they had the option. They were wronged in this way because everybody gets 5 years moving forward. And so they're eligible. So now that they're eligible and they're going to play, they're either going to play for someone else against us or they're going to play for us. We're going to go recruit them. That's what Lane Kiffin just said today. Now, in a vacuum, which we almost never operate in a vacuum, I understand this. That's what I told you last week. These players did not elect to leave college. They were told they had to leave college. You played 4 years. You didn't have a COVID year. You're not qualifying for 5 for 5. You get 4 years. Get out. And so they left. And then the judges came back and said, well, you actually get a 5th year. So then they came back. And moving forward, everyone gets 5 years, so we don't have this kind of miscommunication, misunderstanding. Right? We fixed that. And I use air quotes because what is really fixed? But this shouldn't be an issue moving forward. So in this instance, with Junior Tuihalamaka and Daquan Wright, I think this is fine. There are some people that believe once you put pen to paper with a professional sports team, your time in college is over. You can never return. And that's their sticking point. And I'm okay if you feel that way. I don't necessarily. I think we've gotten to the point where college players make more than pro players in some circumstances. Certainly not a money thing. If you just think there's a glass door here that once you cross through, you can't come back, that's okay. I just don't necessarily see it that way. Where the issue would come in for me personally is in a hypothetical, and that's what we have to get to because now we operate outside the vacuum. If we get to a hypothetical that Dan Orlovsky posted earlier today, here's the hypothetical. Player plays 3 years, college football, 2nd round pick. All of a sudden, you're in that 2nd training camp after your rookie year, not really going the way you thought. You might get let go. You might not make the roster. Like, that's a rare circumstance for a 2nd round pick in year 2, I understand. But then you said, well, I'm still within my 5 years. I'm going back. I know I already played for the Ravens this year, but I'm going back to Auburn next year because I still have 5 years. What's the difference? That, all of a sudden, muddies the waters for me. But in this instance, these guys didn't know they had the option. So if you put me in charge, which no one's doing, I would say if you elect to move on from college to the professional ranks, you can't come back. And these guys didn't elect to do it. These guys were told they had to leave. So now they finish out their 5th year and then they move on. I'm okay with it. I don't need Pandora's box to be open where you're volleyballing back and forth between the Chiefs and Tennessee. Okay, that's for me where I draw the line. There are some people that draw the line on the first contract you sign. And I get it. I'm not telling you you're wrong. But in this instance, I understand it. If we get beyond that, which every time we make one of these rule tweaks, somebody gets an inch and takes a mile, I get it. Then maybe we'll have a bigger issue on our hands. But we can't seem to enforce any rules. The courts have essentially determined that nothing the NCAA does is constitutional. So if you just challenge them, the NCAA loses. Nothing's constitutional. The Constitution says you can do whatever you want. So bounce back and forth, make as much money as you want, set the market wherever you want to be, transfer every single year. There are no rules. They're not enforceable. They exist, but they're not enforceable. And so that's where we are. And so I'm kind of done with that part of the conversation. They could have an appeal and their eligibility could be taken away. It happened to Charles Bediako. And if that happens, then we'll react to that. But for my purposes now, the discussion is not should Junior Tuihalamaka and Daquan Wright be able to play. The conversation now is how do they help LSU? Well, I'll tell you this. Daquan Wright last year at Ole Miss had 30-plus catches, over 600 yards receiving, got into the end zone 5 times, scored against LSU, caught the final pass that cinched the game against LSU on that 4th down when they went to it, dumped it off to the left flat, and he caught it, ran out and fell down to kind of iced the game. But he's a good tight end. He's not a dynamic playmaker. Obviously, he didn't make an NFL team. He got let go by 2 of them. He's not Trey'Dez Green. But what Daquan Wright is 255 pounds and has the ability to catch passes as well as be of assistance on the line of scrimmage. Trey'Dez doesn't help you much on the line of scrimmage. He'll go down there. He is a willing blocker. He's just not an effective blocker. He's talked about this. He works at it, but he's a freak of nature that likes to go out there and make catches, and that's what he does really well. But if you want to run a 2 tight end set and you want an offensive lineman to get next to that tackle and help you at the point of attack in the ground game, well, Daquan Wright is better at that than Trey'Dez Green. And evidently, LSU's coaching staff is not ready to commit to Malachi Thomas or J.D. LaFleur in that spot, not ready to give J.C. Anderson that opportunity. So they go get a guy that did it for Kiffin and Weiss last year and did it very effectively. This is a second tight end who will be a factor. He understands the terminology for LSU because he's played in the system and he's been productive in the system. So it shouldn't be a steep learning curve. I think Daquan Wright is absolutely a help. Now, Junior Tuihalamaka comes from Notre Dame, and his statistics are not eye-catching. He played in 12 games last year, only started 3, had 12 tackles, 3.5 TFLs, 1 sack, broke up a pass. His sack was against Navy. So this is not a guy that's been wildly productive at Notre Dame. He has played a lot of football. As a junior, he played in all 16 games. Of course, Notre Dame was a finalist and lost the national championship game that year. Had a start that year, had 33 tackles, 5.5 TFLs, 3 sacks, 2 fumble recoveries. This is a depth piece. And LSU's got Prince William Mielen on one edge, and just imagine, Chris Blair, feel sorry for you, on 3rd and 8 against Clemson, it might be Uman Mielen on one edge and Tuihalamaka on the other edge. Uman Mielen, Tuihalamaka meeting at the quarterback. But he's a veteran. He's played a lot of ball, and he adds depth at a spot where you don't have enough depth because Gabe Relaford's out for the year. Damian Shanklin is away from the team. Lamar Brown has dealt with a minor injury. You have a depth issue at a defensive end, and he brings depth. He brings a guy that probably sits right where Dylan Carpenter is with the second team. as a rush end who can help you on third downs. But this is not, to me, in my estimation, some sort of game-changing addition from Notre Dame. At least his statistics would not suggest that. Pro Football Focus rates are decent against the run. He's made some tackles, and he's a grown man. But I don't think this is some sort of... If you're looking at an impact on LSU's team, I think Daquan Wright adds more of an impact than Junior Tuihalamaka. But if you feel like you got a chance to make your team better, make your team better. I'm not mad at Lane Kiffin for doing this at all. There are some coaches that are cheating. This is not cheating. This is an opportunity that's presented itself, and Lane Kiffin is electing to do it. And he said that earlier. He said, look, these players are in the transfer portal. They believe themselves to be eligible. The judge is telling us they're eligible. We're going to go recruit them. And yeah, I think it's a big bummer if somebody's got to lose their spot on the roster. I think it's a bummer if somebody gets bumped down the depth chart. But the deal is, in professional sports, which this basically is, people are brought in to take your job. Your job's to make sure they don't. And Lane Kiffin's going to put the best team out there he possibly can, and he believes that Daquan Wright and Junior Tuihalamaka are in that number, that they help this team. And I would suggest they probably do. It's a weird time, but at this point, I take solace in the fact that once we get into Tiger Stadium 2 weeks from this past Saturday, and Clemson comes out of one tunnel and LSU comes out of one tunnel, and the band's on the field and the fireworks go off, and they sing the national anthem and do the alma mater, and then they do the coin toss and we get ready to go inside Tiger Stadium, I'm not going to be thinking about whether or not Daquan Wright was in training camp with the Browns. I'm not going to be thinking about whether or not Junior Tuihalamaka had 4 or 5 years of eligibility. I'm not going to be thinking about how much money the left tackle makes or where Clemson's right guard played last year. I won't think about any of that. There's silly stuff in college sports. Silly stuff happens all the time. It's silly that Stanford is in the Atlantic Coast Conference. It's silly that you got quarterbacks suing their own school like Darian Mensah did. It's silly that Max Johnson's playing 7 years of college football for 6 teams or whatever it is. It's silly that a guy was in training camp 1 week and in college the other. That stuff is silly. But once you kick the ball off, once you tip the ball off, once you throw the first pitch, it's still great. Still great. The ancillary stuff that we've got to talk about time to time like this is silly because none of the rules are being enforced. But the sport is still great. And that's what I want to get back to. We're inside 2 weeks away from it. But when we get back to it, I think LSU is going to have a couple more players, and we'll see if Jack Pyburn walks through that door as well. Lane Kiffin is going to recruit every available player that he can, that he thinks makes his team better. And these 2 guys he believes do. So now they're going to be in purple and gold. That's our opening drive here on our Monday show, brought to you by Guarantee Health Solutions. We'll step aside. Let's talk Saints. 34-0 back on Saturday. What I see next.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Highland Insurance Group, HighlandIG.com. That's HighlandIG.com. Jonathan Carbo and his team, phenomenal folks to work with when it comes to group and employee benefits. They're awesome. I know that a lot of you that are owners of companies, CFOs, deal with the benefits, you're getting squeezed. That bottom line's tough when you have to deal with insuring your employees. You want to make sure they have the right health care, they have the right dental, they have the right vision, but it's costing a lot. It's cost prohibitive. And if you don't do it, are you able to attract the right employees? You're able to maintain that workforce? If you're looking for a second option, contact the Highland Insurance Group. They've had a lot of success helping out local businesses with their group and employee benefits. If you've had a bad renewal or you're dreading the next one, talk to Jonathan Carbo and his team at the Highland Insurance Group. They're online at HighlandIG.com. It's HighlandIG.com.
Bayou Ford has 0% APR with no payments for 90 days and $1,000 down payment assistance on select 2026 Ford models.
Plus the complimentary 7-year powertrain warranty that comes with all new Bayou Automotive vehicles.
If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Eagle 98.1, the Rock Station, home of the Woody Show in the morning. Scotty Mack with Rock at Work. Michelle Southern with Southern Rock. Home of LSU sports since 1998. And rock for Baton Rouge since 1985. Take us anywhere with the Eagle 98.1 app. To join our VIP fan club, text ROCK to 225-499-9898. Eagle 98.1, the Rock Station.
Investing in a new roof doesn't have to be overwhelming. At Pelican Roofing, we offer 0 interest for 21 months because everyone deserves a safe, secure home. Trusted, local, affordable. Pelican Roofing, making quality roofing affordable for South Louisiana families.
The Ascension Parish Sheriff's Office protects and serves over 132,000 residents across the parish.
Keeping our community safe is our mission, and Rev Fiber plays a critical role in how we respond. Whether it's training in our special divisions, forensics investigations, or fielding emergency calls in our operations center, Rev Business connects our teams in real time, which is why we partner with Rev Business.
Get 6 months free of Rev Business services. Call or click today.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
Today, we are shaping tomorrow.
We are researching how extreme stress impacts the immune system, from trauma victims to athletes and even astronauts.
Our work is leading the way in sepsis treatment, saving countless lives.
We're unlocking the mind with music in exciting new ways.
Our Lady of the Lake Health and LSU are improving the health of our state.
That's the impact of champions.
Imagine the impact we'll have on the future. Together, we roar.
Raising Cane's Texas Toast is a thick slice of bread, garlic buttered spread, grilled to golden perfection, and made.
This is the Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Guarantee Health Solutions. Guarantee Health Solutions, guiding healthcare forward. GuaranteeHealth.com.
Monday show is brought to you by Guarantee Health Solutions, online at GuaranteeHealth.com. That's GuaranteeHealth.com. Plenty to get to here on this Monday. Again, hope your work week's off to a good start. We'll talk some LSU hoops coming up in 15 minutes. And in about 13 minutes, RJ Lewis will hear his case here in Baton Rouge to see if he is granted another year of eligibility and is ruled eligible to play basketball at LSU. We'll talk about a little bit of that coming up in our next segment. Right now, let's talk Saints. Not great. not great. 34-0 was the final. I realize this is going to seem a little bit Pollyanna. This is going to seem a little bit homerish. I really, really don't care that much that the Saints' second, third, and fourth teamers got destroyed by the Rams' second, third, and fourth teamers. I really don't care that much. I was a little more concerned with the reports from last week's practice where the Rams' offense went up and down the field on the Saints' defense in the joint practice. I don't care that Stetson Bennett is out there slinging it around against a Saints defense that's got Elliott Davidson and Terrell Burgess and, Michael Heldman out there. That doesn't move my needle a ton. I did not like at all the Saints' two quarterbacks. I thought Zach Wilson and Spencer Rattler both played very poorly. Both turned the football over. Not accurate, not decisive, not getting the ball down the field. It's just the quarterbacks looked bad. They looked bad. I thought the penalties were atrocious. You have double-digit penalties in this game, including some procedural stuff that just cannot happen in the National Football League. You take me out to a JV football game in this town on a Thursday night, okay, we'll get some 12-men in the huddle penalties, I understand. In the NFL, coming out of a timeout, we got pre-snap penalties. That's ridiculous. Now, again, it's not the starters, but it does speak to the organization of what you're doing here. And I need things to be communicated clearly and players to be able to stand in the right place and the right number of players to be on the field when we come out of a timeout. Awful. Clearly, you're turning the football over in the red zone. That's awful. Can't have that. That's some guys that are trying, fighting, scrapping, clawing to make this team, but you can't have it. Had a pick six that Rattler threw. Ty Chandler put the ball on the ground. He's trying to make the team. That's not going to help. And then the kicking, you miss a 39-yard field goal by Tanner Brown. That you can't have. And we saw the results of that today when the Saints went out and added Carlson, the kicker, who has twice been All-Pro, and he's going to be the starting kicker. That's it. These two guys, Charlie Smith and Tanner Brown, have been awful for 3 weeks in practice. Now it shows up in the game. Can't have it. Carlson had a down year last year, no doubt, but he's been a very, very good NFL kicker in his time. He's going to win that job. He's going to be the kicker. I'm comfortable suggesting that today. And he hadn't been at one single practice. But there was just a lot of bad stuff. Just driving the ball inside the 20 3 times and coming up with 0 points is bad. Now, was there any positive in this game for New Orleans? Because I've harped on how awful a lot of that was. Well, I'll try. How's that? I'll try to give you some positive. Kendre Miller played, which I think is good. 6 carries for 22 yards, not going to move the needle, but he was out there. And that's a good thing because you've got injuries stacking up at that position in a big, big way. But the Saints did not block well. The long run of the game was 9 yards for New Orleans. You did not have a run go for double digits in this game. But Kendre Miller was out there, and I think that's a positive. Bryce Lance was out there, made a couple of catches. That's good to see. I'm hopeful to see more from him. Bub Means had 4 targets in the game, only had 1 catch, had a drop in the game. It was just trying to find significant positives in this box score or from this, and I use the term very, very loosely with air quotes, highlight film is going to be tough. But here's the deal. How many of these guys are even going to make the team? How many of these guys are you even going to count on? Almost none. So, it sounds a lot worse than it is. It sounds a lot worse than it is. If you watched this game, it looked terrible. If you did not watch the game because you don't care about preseason football with a bunch of guys that are going to get cut, I understand that. And you look at the scoreboard and you go 34-0. Good grief. And that's a reasonable reaction. But again, it just doesn't matter. The leading tackler for the Saints in this game was Jackson Sermon. Hand up. I never heard of him. I don't know who that is. So these are guys that aren't going to make this team. The 2026 Saints and how successful they are is not going to hinge on the guys that were out there in this game. So I just have a hard time conjuring up some sort of emotion about this game when you realize what's happening. Now the question becomes, and Ross Jackson posed this at LouisianaSports.net, and I think it's a very fair one. Did the Saints need to put some starters out there in the third preseason game? And my suggestion would be, yeah, play a little bit. You have a brutal beginning of your schedule. At Detroit and at Baltimore is brutal. And you need to be at your best. I'm not suggesting Tyler Shuck needs to air it out 31 times in the preseason finale. But 3 drives, I think, could be helpful. Now, there's a risk-reward there, no question. There's a risk-reward. The risk, you've got a better chance getting injured playing any preseason game than you do standing on the sideline in a sweatsuit. But the reward could be getting some reps. Now, I don't need to see Cam Jordan out there, and I won't because he's hurt. I don't need to see Alvin Kamara out there, and I won't because he's hurt. I don't need Eric McCoy to play. There are some guys on this roster that have reached a point in their career, Chris Olave being one, who you don't necessarily have to put out there. But yeah, I'd put those tackles out there. See what Banks and Fuaga can do. Yeah, I want those 2 young corners to play. Quincy Riley, of course, is hurt, but I'd like Kool-Aid to get out there and get some reps. I'd like Christian Miller to get out there and get some reps, some guys that you feel like are going to be contributors on this team. I think it would be a good thing to do that. You got a lot last week in those joint practices. They ran a lot of plays. But I do think there is a little bit of value in getting some of those guys out there. You've given the bottom of the roster 2 games to put stuff on tape for you and for the rest of the league, and they're going to get some more, especially the second half of the game coming up in game number 3 of the preseason. But I think that getting some of the starters some reps would be a good thing in preseason game 3. You want to limit that on August 15th, I got it. But as we get to 2 weeks out, which is what we'll be at when we get to this coming weekend, I do think that getting some of those guys some work would be a positive thing for this team. I think it was a good week out in California for this team based on everyone that I spoke with on the air and off the air. I think it was a good week for New Orleans. I thought that the reports for the offense were very, very good in their workout against the Cowboys. I think that there were some really good things against the Rams offensively as well. The defense had its moments against Dallas. I don't think as many against the Rams. But you got work against two teams that a lot of people were going to peg into the playoffs. And then you sent your second and third teamers out there and got smoked by the Rams in a game that was heinous to watch on Saturday. Now, you move into the final preseason game. You get some of these starters some reps, and you get ready for the season. My excitement level for this team, my expectation level for this team is not contingent upon a 34-0 game 2 of preseason against the Rams. It's just not. I'm not going to get there. May not speak well to the depth on your team if you want to stretch it really far, but I don't care. I care about the top guys on your team, and they weren't out there. Get them out there in this next preseason game for a couple of drives, and then get ready to tackle the season. That's where I am. Saints lose 34-0 to the Rams out in L.A. Jordan, what'd you see? Sunshine and rainbows?
Well, not at all. I mean, started my Saturday off at a steakhouse. I'm thinking, it's gonna be good. I got the Saints coming at 3:00. It's gonna be a good Saturday. Go home to go watch that monstrosity of a game, if you want to call it that. I mean,
I was on the beach. I didn't watch it. I had to rewatch before the show.
Well,
not rewatch. Watch for the first time on replay.
You get put in a position where a lot of the guys you kind of hyped up after the first game just all goes out the window out of this game. Like Martin Emerson, he had such a good first game. You would have thought he was beefing with Stetson Bennett. Stetson Bennett might have threw the ball at him 12 times.
They were going at Emerson a lot. That was a recurring theme that I saw on Twitter and then on the highlight tape. They were peppered him.
They were going at Emerson. You would have thought he had some type of beef with the Rams or something like that. But again, I know the Rams played their twos and the Saints played their bench guys. But you never want to get shut out and goose egg like that. Especially, I will say this, and this is not giving the team some type of benefit of doubt, but they did look like they played two joint practices.
They did.
They look like they just look so much drained compared to the Rams. Like the Rams just look fresher. They just look like, we didn't have to do two joint practices this week. So I don't want to give them bail on that because they did look like that. But to wrap everything up, my biggest gripe would have to be the penalties. Yeah. I mean, we're talking, like you said, elementary penalties. We're talking just one guy going in motion, just little things like that. Knowing that, the starters ain't out there, but that's just the little things like that. And, you see people calling for Kellen Moore's job after the preseason.
Yeah,
that's doing too much. That's doing too much. But the third preseason game, let's get a couple starters out there, and let's clean up these penalties because that was terrible.
Turnovers and penalties.
Terrible.
Awful stuff. Monday show is brought to you by Guarantee Health Solutions. Or online at GuaranteeHealth.com. GuaranteeHealth.com. Hoops news. Got a court hearing today and a commitment over the weekend. It's a big, big commitment for those that didn't catch it. I'll talk about it next.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Love talking to my friends over at Marucci. They're online at MarucciSports.com, MarucciSports.com. Buy a ticket, take a tour over there at Marucci. Such a great story that you can learn. Learn how it went from a backyard shed in Baton Rouge to the official bat of Major League Baseball. Such a cool story. And you can learn it. You can also see where they make 1,200, excuse me. That's every single day to send off to the best players in the world. It's all there at Marucci. Get a ticket, MarucciSports.com, MarucciSports.com.
Raising Cane's Texas Toast is a thick slice of bread, garlic buttered spread, grilled to golden perfection, and made to order just for you. Because when you make it right, you can taste it in every bite. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers. One love.
People ask why I chose to partner with Parrish. The answer is simple: trust. Whether you're choosing teammates, business partners, or the people working on your home or business, choose a company you know and trust. Visit parrishbuilt.com.
As a business owner, you're always focused on how you can improve the bottom line. Well, when was the last time you shopped your insurance coverage? Insurance Network of Louisiana can help. If you're a business owner, let my friends at Insurance Network of Louisiana see if they can find you better coverage for less money. They always offer exceptional customer service and partner with only the best providers. So check them out online today at lainsurance.net.
I'm Gabrielle McLeod on behalf of the Louisiana Propane Dealers. I have spent hundreds of hours preparing for scholarship competitions. That preparation paid off when I won the Fitness and Talent Awards along with the title of Miss Louisiana. The Louisiana Propane Dealers are also pretty talented and want you to be prepared for when the power goes out. Visit LouisianaPropane.com to find out about propane generators and other safety tips. Louisiana Propane, it truly is the fuel for our future.
After a decade of working in private duty nursing, I know how hard it can be to find compassionate care for the ones that you love the most. So I started Decision Critical, a premier concierge nursing agency, so we can take care of you wherever you are. Our highly skilled nurses provide exceptional care from the comfort of your own home with personalized packages for short-term, long-term, or even around-the-clock care. Visit us at decisioncriticalbr.com and give us a call today to get started.
Sometimes you ignore the signs, even when they're right in front of you. Problem gambling isn't always easy to spot. Know the signs. Set your limit. Learn more about healthy gambling habits by visiting us online or text or call for free confidential help now.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Guarantee Health Solutions. Guarantee Health Solutions, guiding healthcare forward. GuaranteeHealth.com.
Back to school time, courtesy of our friends over at Ochsner. If you've got a young student athlete under your roof, make sure he or she is prepared with that annual sports physical, proper hydration, stretching, rest, the right protective equipment. Sports are awesome. They can help reduce stress, build confidence, and improve social skills. It's a great way for kids to stay active and engaged throughout the school year. Many Ochsner Health Centers offer primary care and pediatric services in one location. That makes it easy for families to coordinate care for everyone in the household. If you're looking for more tips on keeping your family to start the school year safe and ready to succeed, visit ochsner.org/BR. All right, basketball news today. One, just a housekeeping note, RJ Lewis, who was the Big East Player of the Year 2 years ago, will have his case heard in court today, determining whether or not he's eligible to play for LSU this coming season. Lewis has been here a lot of the summer, but the question is he eligible? Because there is a rule in place that says if you sign a professional contract, you cannot come back and play, and he signed a two-way deal with the Jazz as well as the Celtics. So you're talking about a guy who was in professional organizations last year, but did not play in the Summer League because of an injury and did not play in the G League either. He's only played in some preseason games. So this is one that I've talked about it. I don't think his case is very good because he forewent his last 2 years of college. He decided to go to the professional ranks on his own, and that's why I think his is different than the two football players that LSU got, because those guys were told their eligibility was up, so they pursued their next opportunity. This was a choice that RJ Lewis made. I don't know how the judge is going to see it, but that case is going to be heard right this very second. 1:30, I believe, was the date on that. It might have been 2:30. I'm not 100% certain, but some news should come out about how that goes today. It may not be the final verdict because there could obviously be an appeal at some point depending on how things go today, but we'll get some information on RJ Lewis today as LSU looks to get a former Big East Player of the Year involved in their basketball program. One player that it appears will be making his appearance in Baton Rouge is Donovan Dent. If you missed this over the weekend, this is a pretty big deal. Donovan Dent played 3 seasons at New Mexico and last year was at UCLA. He kind of blossomed into a star at New Mexico 2 years ago in 2024-2025. He averaged 20 points per game for New Mexico, but that's not his calling card. It's a great average, but the assists are what jump off the page when you talk about Donovan Dent. Last year at UCLA, Dent had 265 assists for the season. That's the second highest total in the history of UCLA basketball. If you're not aware, they've had some pretty good teams at UCLA over the years. And he had the second most assists than anyone ever at UCLA. Lonzo Ball's freshman year is the only season ever with more assists at UCLA. He had 11 games of double-digit assists. He had 2 different games where he had 15 assists. 2 times he had 15 assists in a single game. He had a triple-double against Rutgers. He had a 30-point game as well. He is the point guard on this team. No question about it. And it's a huge get for Will Wade. Now, he's not a great shooter. Last year for UCLA, he shot 25% from the three-point line. He started 2 for 22 from 3. He was better after the 2 for 22 start, but he's not a great shooter. He shot 66% from the free throw line last year, which is not very good for a point guard either. But he was third in the nation in assist-to-turnover ratio. He was third in the nation in total assists and was third in the Big Ten, incidentally, in assists as well. So he is an elite assist guy. I turned on the highlight tape of Donovan Dent, and I just see a guy that is in complete control all the time. The game looks so slow to him. He's not an explosive athlete, which is the reason why he's not on an NBA roster. He's not a great shooter. He is a very quality finisher at the rim. That's how you average 20 points per game at New Mexico. He averaged 13 points per game last year versus UCLA. So it's not like he's just purely a passer. He's able to get where he wants to be on the floor. And one of the guys that he played with last year that he had great rapport with was Sky Clark, who's committed to LSU now as an off guard. So you look at LSU's backcourt and you add Donovan Dent, one of the best assist men in the nation, to Sky Clark, who was a lethal shooter last year for UCLA, shot over 40%. You've also got Divine Ogachukwu, who had a nice season at Michigan State last year. And you've got Abdi Bashir, who shot 45% from three-point range at Kansas State. You've got Clark and Bashir as wing shooters who shot over 40% last year from three-point range. And with them, a top 5 assist guy in the country. So when you talk about Dent, he's a driver by nature. He finishes the rim and creates for other players. And nothing opens up driving lanes quite as well as shooters. When you've got shooters that can space the floor, and then you've got a guy as good as this at getting into the middle of the paint and making the right decision and making the quality play, you've got a really tough team to guard. And LSU still is short on front court players. I don't know who their bigs are going to be. I don't know if Marcio Santos is going to be on this team. I don't know if Michael Ruzic's going to be on this team. I don't know if you're going to get Bryce Desire on this team. I'm not sure. I don't know where those eligibility issues rest. It's the first day of school today. This is the day that Will Wade said he would have his team by. He's actually got 2 more weeks because there's an add drop date that you can get guys in before, and there might be even longer if you're talking about international players who can come in and have a little bit of a waiver. So, I'm not sure when this all is finalized, but this is as impactful an addition as Will Wade has made in his early time. We'll see if Saliu Niang is on LSU's team this year. He's a really, really good athlete from Maccabi Tel Aviv, that team overseas and in Israel, and we'll see if he does make this team. But Dent is going to be on this team, I believe, unless he loses his fight for eligibility for that 5th year, which I don't know that he will. He's going to be the starting point guard, and he's going to be a difference maker for LSU. There's no question. And they've surrounded him with some guys that can shoot it. If you can find some guys that are threats offensively in the front court, you could really have something here. The question that I saw raised about Donovan Dent is that he finished his 4 years of college basketball and did not pursue a professional career. He was content to go back home to Arizona and coach. That's what he wanted to do. So he does love basketball, but he had lost the desire to try to play. And some people question whether or not that's a guy that you would bring in that can be a leader on your team if he was ready to just walk away from basketball as a player. I think that might be reaching a little bit. It's not like he quit to go, be an attorney. He didn't quit to go do somebody's taxes. He went to go coach basketball. I think that's a guy who probably likes basketball, but maybe hadn't been putting in the work in this offseason, and certainly hasn't been here because he just committed to LSU, and you can get paid, millions of dollars to come play. It's probably a pretty wise decision. So he leaves UCLA, where they were a 24-win team, and now you've got their backcourt from a 24-win UCLA team in a really good league in the Big Ten that comes in and now is going to play for LSU. So we'll see if RJ Lewis gets that eligibility, but Dent is a difference maker, and if he can shoot it at the level that he did at New Mexico his last year there when he shot 41% from three. It was a low number of threes. He only shot 66 threes that year, so he wasn't a high-volume shooter, but he shot them at a pretty good clip. If you can get that, you've got a potential all-SEC player here. Like, this guy could be an all-SEC selection. He's that kind of ability. I don't know that I would put that label on any of the other guys that LSU has brought in. I don't think Ugachukwu is a guy that's going to likely be an all-SEC guy. I don't know that Abdi Bashir is as well. I don't think that Austin Nunez is. Mo Diabate is probably not an all-league player either. He's just a grinder, a defensive guy. But this RJ Lewis and Donovan Dent would get some votes for preseason all-SEC. And that's the kind of talent level you've got to have to compete in the SEC. And LSU, candidly, just hasn't really had that. Cam Carter in the last couple of years was a good player. I thought when he was on the floor, De'Don Thomas was a good player. I think that you got some good things. I'm blanking on his name. Max McKinnon, there it is. I thought you got some good things from him out of there last year, but it's been few and far between over the last 4 or 5 years for LSU basketball. These guys are difference makers, and Will Wade's is beginning to assemble them. You're getting closer to seeing that roster fully materialize, but we got to get some rulings on the European players and whether or not they're eligible, and then, of course, whatever happens with RJ Lewis today. So if I see anything on Twitter, I'll let you know over the course of the next hour and 20 minutes or so, but I haven't gotten any of that yet. But Will Wade's got the makings of a really strong backcourt. We'll see what he can do in the front court. Lifetime Roofing. They're online at lifetimeroofingla.com. That's lifetimeroofingla.com. Lifetime warranty on the workmanship as well as the materials when you go with Lifetime Roofing. Check them out online at lifetimeroofingla.com. That's lifetimeroofingla.com. They're so proud to be able to offer that lifetime workmanship warranty. Started up on January 1st. Go with a local roofer that you can trust, and you can trust Lifetime Roofing. They're a Baton Rouge company. They've got roots in Louisiana, and they understand that their industry oftentimes is in service, because when you got mass roof damage, oftentimes we've had a significant weather event or something like that people are in need, and that's when they do their best work. So if you want to go with a local company that you can trust for your new roof, for your roof inspection, for your roof repair, go with Lifetime Roofing. They're online at lifetimeroofingla.com, lifetimeroofingla.com. All right, fast-moving show here on this Monday. Hope your work week's off to a good start. Open things up today, talking about LSU's 2 additions that are fifth-year players, one of which coming directly from an NFL training camp. I gave my thoughts on that at the beginning and then kind of washed my hands of it and said, look, let's just talk about what these guys could add to the team. Lane Kiffin spoke with the media today. We'll talk about that in hour number 2 coming up here on this Monday edition. We also talked about the Saints preseason loss back on Saturday night. You can catch that at Hunt on Saints. Ross Jackson's got some really insightful pieces up on LouisianaSports.net you can check out as well. So we'll get into that. Hour 2 is going to be a fun one as well. We'll do Meet the Freshman. We'll talk about Lamar Brown a little bit. Matt had some reports on the LSU scrimmage over the weekend, so we'll get into that. In hour number 2, we'll hear from Lane Kiffin as well as Kellen Moore. So lots and lots to get to. Again, hope your work week's off to a good start. Appreciate you hanging out with us on The Hunt Palmer Show.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
I'm Lawyer Locke Meredith. We are honored and humbled to receive from our clients in Google. Based on 5-star client reviews, the designation of our law firm is highly recommended. Whether you hire us at all, please give us a call, 272-5555. You have nothing to lose.
Hi, I'm Mitchell Meredith. Injuries happen when you least expect them to, making your life more complicated. At Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan & Associates, we know this, and we strive to help each of our clients during these times. Whether you hire us at all, give us a call at 272-5555.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, hardy plank, and vinyl siding. But our #1 product's always customer satisfaction. Come visit us at reliefwindows.com. By the way, we do shutters too.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has the new Ram 1500 truck on our lot now with $22,000 off MSRP.
Plus the complimentary 7-year powertrain warranty that comes with all new Bayou Automotive vehicles.
If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Looking for cleaner energy? Propane is energy for everyone. And when you're cooking with clean, affordable propane, you're cooking with gas. In the wintertime, nothing heats a home like Louisiana propane. And when you need hot water, propane's got you covered. Oh, and you won't regret that propane generator when the power goes out. I'm Miss Louisiana, Gabrielle McLeod, and to find more information and to find a propane dealer near you, visit louisianapropane.com.
My father, J.B. Falgu, had a vision of growth for First American Bank and the communities we serve. The bank's foundation was built on his legacy of compassion, loyalty, and dedication. Through his years of leadership, First American has prospered to heights even J.B. could not have imagined. I know my father would be extremely proud of the customer service and financial stability that First American provides to Southeast Louisiana. We continue to thrive because of the legacy of J.B. Falgu.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Guarantee Health Solutions. Guarantee Health Solutions, guiding healthcare forward. GuaranteeHealth.com.
Hour number 1 here on a Monday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show. Appreciate y'all hanging out with us. As you well know, our Monday show is brought to you by Guarantee Health Solutions. They're online at GuaranteeHealth.com. And Rachel Fricke with Guarantee Health Solutions, good enough to give us a little bit of time here on this Monday. How are you?
I'm great, Hunt. Thanks for having me.
Give us an intro to Guarantee Health Solutions. Y'all have not been around too long, but are making things happen.
We are moving right along. So Guarantee Health Solutions was founded just last year, back in July, and then we officially kicked off in October. But we are hitting the ground running as a fractional C-suite organization for healthcare organizations. And so if your organization is needing operations, marketing, strategy, wherever you're having gaps, we're going to come in and really fill those gaps.
I know when we talked, you mentioned that this is kind of something that's coming out of a personal experience for you in the healthcare system when you didn't feel like it was the experience that you would have liked to have. Can you kind of dig deeper on that for us?
Happy to. So I actually grew up, I would say, in the healthcare system, so to speak. My mother was born with cerebral palsy. And so, grew up going to physical therapy with her, any appointments, surgeries, things like that. And then as an adult, I had a hospitality background, worked for Hilton and Marriott, and was able to go, she had a terminal cancer journey. And so I was able to walk through that journey with her through the lens of hospitality, and just saw how healthcare was so transactional and not intentional. And so really that is our purpose, is we are working with organizations to make meaningful moments for patients, meeting them where they are, not stop copying and pasting care. And so we really work with these individuals to build these customized communication frameworks, delivery models, things like that.
Can you kind of walk us through what a partnership looks like with somebody that joins forces with y'all?
Yes, and it also makes us very different, Hunt. So we typically, if you partner with a consultant, they're going to walk into your practice and they're going to tell you exactly what you need to fix day one. Where we actually come in and through our partnerships, we do assessment phase. So we call it the 90-day GHS Foundation, where we become one with you. We understand your mission, your vision, your values, and really identify through the assessment period your needs and gaps and pain points. And then next we step into a prioritization roadmap, because through our assessment and all the findings, it becomes very overwhelming. And so that strategy phase where we prioritize our findings, and then we move into an execution phase with you, We just had a conversation this week with the health system. The last thing anyone wants is for us to hand them a binder and wish them luck, right? So we really stay with them through every phase.
Rachel Fricke is our guest here with Guarantee Health Solutions. They bring you our Monday shows each and every week. I've talked to you in the past about just the wide variety of things that y'all do and the wide variety of healthcare systems that you impact. It goes from hospitals to urgent cares, dental practices. Is there something that y'all have seen more of recently?
Specialty practices, so we love working with health systems, hospitals, ERs. I would say specialty practices, ambulatory has been really great to work with them in building out what makes them different from their competitors. And then also patient access, front office operations. I would say if you speak to any operator, they say the front desk is a pretty major pain point.
Yes.
And we love the front desk. They're your first and your last impression. They're the heartbeat of the clinic. And so we have really enjoyed that area.
I'll let you brag on your team. I know y'all have got a ton of experience and have put together such an awesome group over there.
Yes, I have Kyron Miner, our Director of Marketing. We have Vanessa Barnett, Director of Patient Experience. We have Brandy Jobs, who's our VP of Strategic Partnerships. And just a quick overhead of that is we have managed over 1 million patient visits a year, 23 joint venture health system partnerships across 12 states. So we do bring so much experience to the table.
Tell me how people can get involved with Guarantee Health Solutions that are maybe hearing you for the first time here.
Please call 225-290-7534, and that will actually reach me directly. I love to take those calls personally, or you can visit www.guaranteehealth.com.
Thank you so much for your time. We certainly appreciate it.
Thanks, Hine. I appreciate it.
That is Rachel Fricke here with Guarantee Health Solutions. Again, you can find them online at guaranteehealth.com. That's guaranteehealth.com. They bring you our Monday shows each and every week. I want to remind you about Swing Easy Golf Club here in Baton Rouge. They're online at swingeasygcbr.com. That's swingeasygcbr.com. Looking to play some golf this weekend? Get on by Swing Easy Golf Club. It's 1,000 degrees outside. We know that. Rain happens quite often. We know that. So if you're looking for maybe an indoor option, go check them out. It's Swing Easy Golf Club here in Baton Rouge. Got Pebble Beach, got Cypress Point, got, we give that green jacket out. They got that one on there as well. You can check them out there. They're on Segan at Perkins. It's Swing Easy Golf Club in Baton Rouge. They're online at swingeasygcbr.com. Swing Easy Golf Club in Baton Rouge, swingeasygcbr.com. Really appreciate Rachel for coming by and giving us a little bit of time here on this Monday. She's online at guaranteehealth.com, Guarantee Health Solutions. They're such an awesome company that has been such an impact here for us in the Guarantee family. And they're gracious with their time here on a Monday, so certainly do appreciate her. Again, it's been a fast-moving hour number one here. Done a lot of talking about LSU football, a lot of Saints, LSU basketball as well. And we've heard from Lane Kiffin earlier today, and that's where I started the show today, just to kind of revisit that. He took a lot of questions today about the additions of Junior, just got to get this, Junior Tui Alamaka. I can't get that one off the top of my head just yet. I do have to read it on the screen, and then I can say it. But he got Junior Tui Alamaka and then Daquan Wright as well. Took a lot of questions on that and essentially just said, look, I'm here to be the head coach at LSU. I'm here to win games for LSU. I'm here to do the right thing and to be to get the best team on the field I possibly can. These guys have been ruled eligible by a court, and so you can look at them and say, hey, they're eligible, and if I don't get them, somebody else is going to get them, so might as well bring them in. And that's the attitude he has taken, and I don't think there's anything significantly wrong with that. I think that he's right on the money doing that. Do I think it's the greatest precedent in the world to set? You can have your quibbles with that, and I have no issue with that whatsoever. But I think that Lane Kiffin's certainly not breaking the rules. This is just an opportunity that's been presented to him. He called it a unique set of circumstances. And now all of a sudden you can bring it in and get these guys on the field. And Tui Alamaka helps you out on the edge. And then you've got Prince William Mielon on the other edge. You've got some guys that are veterans from a pass rushing perspective. And Daquan Wright brings you something in the tight end room that you may not have necessarily had, which is a more versatile tight end opposite Trey'Dez Green. He's more physical than Trey'Dez Green. He's not going to be able to do the things Trey'Dez does in the passing game, but he did have over 600 yards last year. He did have multiple touchdowns, scored a touchdown against LSU. So you bring that guy in to be a help to your tackles in the blocking perspective and to add some versatility to your tight end group. And I understand the people that are quibbling with the fact that he was there from a professional perspective. I get it, but this is a circumstance where he was kicked out of the college ranks, told he had no more eligibility left. There's only one place to go. Now he's got an avenue to explore, so he was able to do that. So I don't think there's a huge problem with it. We'll hear some quotes from Lane Kiffin coming up in hour number 2. We'll pause for Sports Center at the top of the hour to get you caught up on some national headlines, including some troubling stuff out of San Francisco, and then we will come back with hour number 2. It's a Monday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Guarantee Health Solutions. Remember, you can get them online at guaranteehealth.com.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Fabry Chevrolet GMC online at FabryChevrolet.com. That's FabryChevrolet.com. Looking for a truck? Fabry Chevrolet is an awesome place to get one. Get a 2026 Chevy Silverado 1500, 0% APR financing for 5 years plus no monthly payments for 90 days now until August 31st. That has not changed. It's been that way for 2 months, and you can get on by and see them today on Highway 61 in St. Francisville. Looking for a 2026 GMC Sierra 1500. They got 2.9 APR financing for 72 months, plus an additional $1,500 in allowance. That's now until August 31st. Great selection of pre-owned vehicles as well that'll fit any budget for you. Look, if you're looking for a pre-owned vehicle, looking for a new vehicle, Fabry Chevrolet GMC needs to be your stop. You can see the entire inventory online at FabryChevrolet.com, so you can search by make and model, you can search by year, you can search by mileage, all that right at your fingertips, and then go by and see them and get that great customer service the Fabry family has offered Baton Rouge for 35 years. It's Fabry Chevrolet GMC online at FabryChevrolet.com.
Bayou Ford has 0% APR with no payments for 90 days and $1,000 down payment assistance on select 2026 Ford models.
Plus the complimentary 7-year powertrain warranty that comes with all new Bayou Automotive vehicles.
If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Are you ready for an internet experience that actually keeps up with you? Then you're ready to step into a new kind of reliability with Rev Fiber. When your internet works, the possibilities open up, and suddenly everything feels more connected, just the way it should be. Seamless enough to keep up with every swipe and every click, anywhere you are. So leave the buffering behind. 100% fiber, 0% runaround, where support is still personal. Rev Fiber. Visit revfiber.com.
Hi, this is Beth Serena. Welcome to my pool. The first time I saw this beautiful pool, it exceeded every expectation that I had. They were able to get everything we wanted in this pool. It is a beautiful pool. We live out here, we eat out here, we watch TV out here. This is like our living room outside. We love this pool and everything about it. When we decided to build our pool, we called a great friend who is one of the best pool builders in the country in North Louisiana, and we said, who would you choose to build a pool in Baton Rouge? And without a hesitation, he told us Russell Pools. He said their history, tradition of great builds, great pools was unmatched. So of course, who did we call? Russell Pools. The advice I would give to anyone looking to build a pool is first call Russell Pools. They'll do an incredible job. It'll be incredibly organized. It'll be time efficient. And you will have your pool in no time.
Looking for cleaner energy? Propane is energy for everyone. Propane water heaters are very cost efficient, and the savings are even greater with a tankless propane water heater. We all know that Louisiana propane is a safe and environmentally friendly fuel. So why not go green while you save some green? I'm Miss Louisiana, Gabrielle McLeod, and for more information, visit louisianapropane.com.
Looking for the ultimate game day experience? Come to the Queen Casino in Baton Rouge. Savor game day platters and snacks, plus drink specials at 1717 Kitchen and Cocktail. So come out for game day and let our team make you the MVP. The Queen Casino, where every moment is a win.
Transform your living space with Lacoste & Young Remodeling and take your home from outdated to outstanding. Redefine your kitchen for the ultimate culinary experience or elevate your daily routine with a spa-worthy bathroom retreat. Our skilled team brings 3D modeling to life to ensure your vision becomes a reality. We believe luxury should be accessible and offer tailored.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. The winner of the Browns quarterback competition is Deshaun Watson. The man with the $230 million guaranteed
guaranteed contract beat out Shedeur Sanders to be Cleveland's QB1. The decision announced 2 days after Watson called out fans who booed him during the preseason game against the Bills when he was 5 for 12, 35 yards, 1 interception over 4 second-half drives. ESPN NFL analyst Dan Orlovsky.
I'm shocked. If this was just a football decision, just football, and I haven't seen every day of practice, I would probably say coin flip, 50-50. Start the guy you want. It doesn't really matter to me. After Saturday's press conference, I'm shocked that they did this to the Cleveland fans. I've said if I was a Cleveland fan and Deshaun's still starting week 3, I would not go to the game.
Dan Orlovsky on the Pat McAfee Show. 49ers owner Jed York pleaded no contest to a pair of misdemeanor charges today after being arrested in Ohio on suspicion of engaging in prostitution. Steelers coach Mike McCarthy says the team's at an impasse with cornerback Joey Porter Jr. as he remains on the PUP list with a back injury. He's in line for an extension entering the final year of his current contract.
Hey, it's Michelle Smallman, and coming up Tuesday, now that the Browns have named Deshaun Watson QB1, we ask Adam Schefter what's next for Cleveland when he joins us at 8 a.m. Eastern. It's on Sportsman, like 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Now, The Hunt Palmer Show.
He needs care and treatment.
You are now listening to The Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Guarantee Health Solutions on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Is this a great country or what?
Locking down the middle of the day, live from the Raising Cane studio. This is Hunt Palmer.
Hour 2, Monday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Appreciate you being with us. Hope your work week's off to a good start. We got a busy hour coming at you. We'll hear from Lane Kiffin. I want to talk about LSU's scrimmage back on Saturday. We'll hear some Kellen Moore sound as well from a disappointing Saturday for the New Orleans Saints. But just how impactful was that disappointing Saturday? I have my thoughts. We gave those to you in hour number 1. But right now, let's, for the final time this year, meet the freshmen.
Meet the freshmen. Freshmen, meet the freshmen. They're the newest Tigers on the team.
Amari Peterson was late addition to this class, reclassification, young cornerback that Corey Raymond brought into the fold. He is another tall corner at 6 feet tall. He's listed at 185 pounds. Comes to LSU from Orlando. When you look at the ratings, not a guy that catches a lot of attention. You're talking about a 3-star recruit here. I was looking at his ESPN profile, number 89 cornerback in the country. Looking at Rivals, number 91 cornerback in the country. 24/7 had him as 102. So a guy that was not very, very, very highly rated. You look at the offers that he had, South Florida, Georgia Tech, Wake Forest, Texas A&M was also involved as well. But here's the deal. I don't care. I just trust Corey Raymond. If Corey Raymond says this dude looks like he can play, then go get him. I'm fine with it. Oftentimes, you're going to end up with the Haven Finneys. You're going to end up with the DJ Pickett's. You're going to end up with the Derek Stingleys. You're going to end up with the Christian Fultons, the Eli Rickses, the high-end high school players. But also, Corey Raymond will go to camps, and he will identify guys that he thinks fit the mold of what he's looking to do at cornerback. And Amari Peterson is one of those guys. So I don't anticipate a big role for him on this team. You look at that cornerback depth chart, it's tight because you've got Pickett, and then you've got, obviously, P.J. Woodland, and then Jakeem Jackson, and then probably Michael Turner, and then probably Haven Finney, and then I think you plug in the newcomers at the cornerback position, and Peterson is one of those down there on the 3rd and 4th team. But you got the length, you got the size, and you've got some traits that Corey Raymond believes in. So, 3-star recruit, but I just trust Corey Raymond no matter what. Now, on the flip side, Lamar Brown was not a 3-star recruit. Lamar Brown was the number 1 player in the nation out of U-High when he picked LSU and enrolled this summer. He is huge, y'all. He is really, really big. You look at the edge rushers that LSU has, and Lamar Brown is bigger than all of them. He is 35 pounds heavier than Prince Wilumon and Jordan Ross. He is 35 pounds heavier than Dylan Carpenter. He is 6'5" and 295 pounds, playing on the end of the defense. He's been working with the twos. You know the profile. Number 1 prospect in the country, consensus 5-star. Only 8 players in his class that had a 5-star plus rating on the Rivals composite. and he was one of them. He played both ways for U High over the course of his career there. There was some discussion whether or not he would be a defensive lineman or potentially an offensive lineman, and ultimately he became a defensive lineman. He was a state champion in the shot put, a state champion in the discus, just an amazing athlete that you factor in here as an impact freshman. This is a defensive line group that is being raved about by players in the media, by coaches in the media. You speak to people who are at practices and scrimmages. Lamar Brown, Richard Anderson, and Deuce Gerald's all tend to come up. I have said my piece on this. I don't think that I want to have a defensive line that's anchored by freshmen. I think that's a dangerous way to live. But if these guys are just precocious young talents that you've got to get on the field, I do understand that as well. LSU's going to recruit elite level players. And when they get here, a lot of times they're going to play. I just am more comfortable with freshmen playing at running back and corner as opposed to in the trenches where you're dealing with 23-year-old men that oftentimes outweigh you. In Brown's case, that's not the case. He's physically mature enough to handle some of those guys, but he is a little bit raw. Having played both ways, he's now specializing on the defensive line, and this is a guy that you're going to see in the Clemson game. Uman Mielen and Ross are going to start, and of course you did go into the transfer portal, I use air quotes there, and get Junior Tuialamaka, who will play, and then you've got Dylan Carpenter, who is getting some reps, but Brown is in that discussion for second-team reps, and you're going to rotate that defensive line. So Lamar Brown's going to play. I don't know that I expect him to go out there and dominate. I don't expect him to be in the starting lineup against Clemson, but he is going to play. I think Deuce Gerald is going to start. I think it's very possible Richard Anderson starts. I think Lamar Brown is a depth piece on this team, but you usually see that ascent from freshmen throughout the course of their time. They usually play their best football somewhere just after Halloween. There's a freshman wall there that you might get to at a certain point. We see that a lot in baseball as well, when you just play more than you've ever played. But freshmen learn before they hit that wall, and sometime in November you might be playing your best ball, and maybe Lamar Brown forces his way to the field. I've told y'all this. Like, Jordan Ross is a really big talent, 5-star talent. The production doesn't match it. So would it stun me if Lamar Brown pushed his way to the field? It wouldn't stun me. I would bet on Ross right now holding that starting spot down. I would bet on that. But is it possible that Jordan Ross doesn't have monster numbers at LSU and that Lamar Brown takes some of that time away as the season progresses? I don't think that's unreasonable to suggest. We'll just have to see how it progresses. You look at this freshman class that LSU brought in, and you look at where they could get impact from to kind of put a bow on this segment of Meet the Freshmen. I think offensively it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough for Corey Barber to make a huge impact offensively at wide receiver. I don't think J.C. Anderson is going to play at tight end now, especially with Daquan Wright coming in. I don't think so. I think Bryson Martinez has an amazingly bright future at left tackle for LSU. I don't think it's on this team with Jordan Seaton. Then I think Mariah Moret has turned some heads as a true freshman at center this fall camp. But obviously you've got Braylon Moore. He's not anticipated to play at this point, and we'll see if Moret actually is the second-team center or if maybe William Satterwhite is that guy because he's got more experience. But offensively, I have a hard time getting a lot of freshmen to the field. That's going to be difficult to do unless there's a lot of injuries. Defensively, you're going to see some freshmen. You're going to see Deuce Geralds. You're going to see Richard Anderson. You're going to see Lamar Brown. You might see Haven Finney. Like that may happen. And I think that's exciting to an extent. And concerning's not the right word. Concerning, don't put that word in my mouth. Concerning's not the right word. Something to monitor, I think, when you look at that youth getting to the field. Finney may not play. Maybe you play the 4 older corners. But the linemen will play. And hopefully they usher in an era of dominant defensive line play in LSU. Because the best LSU teams have had great defensive lines. The 03 defensive line was unbelievable. Chad Lavallee, Kyle Williams, Marcus Spears, Marquise Hill. It was unbelievable. The 07 defensive front, maybe the best defensive player in school history in Glenn Dorsey. But you also had other dogs on that defensive front. Ricky Jean-Francois, longtime NFL player. My guy Big Fave was a heck of a player in there. You had real dudes on the defensive front. The 11 team that played for a national championship. In defensive tackles, you had Michael Brockers, who played in the NFL forever, a decade. You had Benny Logan, who was a longtime NFLer. Kiki Mingo, first-round pick. Sam Montgomery was a sack artist. You had dudes on the defensive front of that team. And even the 2019 team, I think Tyler Shelvin is as underrated and underappreciated a player as was on that team. He was a wrecker in the middle of that defense. And Kayvon Chason became a first-round pick on the defensive front. Like, they had really good defensive players on that team that helped you on the front. And LSU just hasn't had that level of talent on the defensive front the last few years. Like, Jaquelin Roy is a nice player. Nice player. Mason Smith, nice player when he was on the field. Yeah, I thought you got some nice reps from Bernard Gooden, but these aren't Marquise Hill. They're not Marcus Spears. They're not Glenn Dorsey. They're not Tyler Shelvin. They're not Michael Brockers. And hopefully these freshmen grow into that. They're not that today. Michael Brockers redshirted at LSU. They're not that today as a freshman. But hopefully these guys become dominant players on the defense, and you look up next year, and especially the year following, with the defensive front that starts Deuce Gerald's, Richard Anderson, and Lamar Brown, that's among the best defensive lines in the country. That's a good place to start, especially when you consider that I feel pretty confident about the LSU offense as long as Lane Kiffin is wearing that visor over there. So that's looking out. That's forecasting things, which is a dangerous thing to do in collegiate athletics this day and age when everybody can transfer. But you're talking about guys with deep roots in Louisiana. Richard Anderson and Lamar Brown are from the state of Louisiana, and Deuce Gerald's family's from here. His dad went to Scotlandville, and his family, that's why he wanted to pick LSU. He's got deep roots here, even though he played high school football in Georgia. If you keep him around, hopefully that's the next great defensive line group. And they'll get it started this year. No question about that. So that puts a bow on our Meet the Freshman series for this year. Went through that entire class. You can catch those on demand. Wherever you find your sound, just search Hunt on LSU, and you can find our Meet the Freshman series all right there. When we come back, Kellen Moore talked to the media after the Saints got spanked in the preseason. We'll hear that and talk some Saints next.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
One Bath and Closets. OneBathAndClosets.com is the website. David Duvall and his team, 30 years redesigning and remodeling bathrooms and closets. Look, closet space is not something I considered when I got a house. It's not something I thought too much about. There was some clutter, and then when my wife-to-be moved in, it's like, where do we put everything? We were cramming stuff in closets in the hallway. We were putting stuff in the attic, just clutter everywhere. And we didn't call One Bath and Closets to get a custom closet because we were going to move. Baby number 2 was coming. We needed more space. We were out of there. But you don't have to move to improve your closet situation. Just call David Duvall at One Bath and Closets. He will come in and customize a closet for you. Check him out at OneBathAndClosets.com. You can see pictures of their great work. It looks great. It's designed specifically with your interests. And you can clear all that clutter away. Have a wonderful, spacious, new closet customized to your needs. It's One Bath and Closets. Find them online at OneBathAndClosets.com.
Transform your living space with Lacoste & Young Remodeling and take your home from outdated to outstanding. Redefine your kitchen for the ultimate culinary experience or elevate your daily routine with a spa-worthy bathroom retreat. Our skilled team brings 3D modeling to life to ensure your vision becomes a reality. We believe luxury should be accessible and offer tailored solutions to fit your budget without compromising quality. So contact us today for a free estimate. Lacoste & Young Remodeling, providing perfect solutions for your dream home.
The experts at Hood Dental Care want you smiling bigger and healthier than ever. New patients can get a healthy gums cleaning for just $89, plus a free exam and full mouth x-rays. A $376 value. With over 3,000 five-star Google reviews, 5 local locations, and easy online scheduling with same-day care. Hood Dental makes it simple to get started. And we always have other great giveaways for new patients. Check out hooddentalcare.com and schedule your appointment today.
If your office is experiencing performance issues like slow networks, jammed printers, or disappearing files, Advanced Office Systems may be right for you. With powerful IT solutions, print management, document imaging, and security systems, they help offices regain confidence naturally. Side effects may include uncontrollable efficiency, smoother workflows, and a sudden burst of office joy. Say goodbye to those emotional breakdowns in the supply closet and get back on track with Advanced Office Systems.
I've been in banking for over 35 years. I usually start about 7:30 in the morning, and I usually leave somewhere around 5, or if customers need me to meet them at their house or their business places, I don't mind going after hours. I have done churches, subdivisions, retail centers, hospitals, and nursing homes.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Guarantee Health Solutions. Guarantee Health Solutions, guiding healthcare forward. GuaranteeHealth.com.
Monday show is brought to you by Guarantee Health Solutions. Also brought to you by GoTro's Outdoor Power. GoTrosOnline.com. That's GoTrosOnline.com. National Hustler Dealer of the Year, 2 of the last 3 years at GoTro's Outdoor Power. They've got the largest hustler inventory in the state of Louisiana, largest parts inventory in the state of Louisiana, and they're family owned and operated. So you get that touch, that personal touch. You can buy a zero-turn mower from the big box store. You can do that. But do you hear from them again? Do you get that delivery of parts like you would from GoTro's Outdoor Power? Do they offer you a trailer to get that zero turn to your property? Do they give you a warranty, an extended warranty? Because GoTro's does. You can add 2 years or 200 hours to your manufacturer warranty, and they're the warrantor right there at GoTro. So go by and see them. 2 locations, Airline Highway in Baton Rouge, and of course in Gonzales as well. You can check them out online as well, GoTrosOnline.com, GoTrosOnline.com. All right, I told y'all we were going to talk about, hear from Kellen Moore in this segment. We're going to flip him. We'll talk Kellen Moore and Saints in our next segment. We'll stick with LSU here. Lane Kiffin met with the media earlier today. Talked about a number of different things. The first thing on his mind today, it wasn't the first thing on his mind. The first thing on his mind today was actually the issue with the 5-for-5 players. But what I wanted to hear more about was actually about the wide receiver room. He was asked if they have a go-to number one wide receiver. In my estimation, based on what we've seen, which is very little, no. But here's his answer.
We're still working on that. We're playing a lot of guys at different spots. I feel like the receivers have done a really good job. There's a lot of really good players in the room, and it's been very competitive and just figuring out where they play best. And so even though it feels like this is game week, just from our intensity, we still got some time.
They have some time. I don't think they have a one. I would guess Jace Brown, but if you told me Trey Wilson, if you told me Winnie Watkins, if you told me Jackson Harris, I would buy it. I think that's very possible. Now, I'd be surprised if you said Trey Brown. I'd be surprised if you said Roman Mothershed. But I think that they've got some guys at the top. I just don't know if it's going to be a first-team All-SEC guy or not. But it's interesting to see how they're going to shake out the reps at wide receiver. Next up from Kiffin, talking about the scrimmage on Saturday, last real physical tune-up for LSU before they get into Clemson prep.
I thought that, we played a lot of plays. I thought that, it's going to be very generic, that the offense did some good things. We played a lot of backups on defense, trying to find different guys there because we feel good about a lot of our ones. And so they got a lot of tape and a lot of things to improve on.
How about special teams? Not something we've spent a lot of time on. Scott Starzik, new kicker that comes in from Arkansas, trying to find return men at this point. And Kiffin talked about special teams.
We're working on that. Really happy how we're kicking field goals. Had some long field goals made the other day, Saturday, and so we're pleased where we're coming, but we still got a lot of work to do on special teams, getting people in the right spots.
Our Matt Moscona had a scrimmage write-up at LouisianaSports.net over the weekend and got some information from those who were there. It was like 500 people at this scrimmage. So there were plenty of people whose door you could knock on and say, hey, what'd you see out there? And Matt did some of that, wrote it up at LouisianaSports.net. But apparently, and I'm just passing this along. I wasn't there. Apparently, Scott Starzik made 3 50-plus yard field goals. So I know that he had a really strong freshman season at Arkansas, and that there was a lot of high hopes for him there. He obviously jumps in the transfer portal. LSU snags him. Ole Miss had a really good kicker last year. I sat in the Superdome and watched him make 3 huge kicks to beat Georgia. It's a big, big part of trying to win football games, especially close ones that are impactful. And it looks like Scott Starzik's having a really nice camp for LSU in the kicking department. So that's a very, very good thing. Let's now shift our discussion over to recruiting the 5-for-5 guys and how he's addressing his team. Because keep in mind, you've got roster limitations and you've got a depth chart. If you bring these guys in, which it appears LSU has every intention of doing, you're going to shuffle up the depth chart. You're going to potentially cost someone a job. And this is what Kiffin had to say about telling his team that we're going to go recruit.
Yeah, our guys know we're in a relentless pursuit of excellence. And I tell them that all the time. That's how I live. It's how I think. It's how I run the team. And that we're always going to look at every avenue to give you the best team, to give you the best players so that you have the best chance to win. And we're always going to be trying to get better in every area no matter what. And anytime portal or acquisitions come up, that's what we're going to do.
That is a professional mindset. That's the way every NFL team operates every day. We're going to try to draft your replacement. We're going to try to find your replacement in undrafted free agency. We're going to try to find your replacement in veteran free agency. We're going to continue to add. During the season, we're going to bring guys in, work them out. If we like him, we'll bring him in. You might get cut. That's life in the NFL. And it hasn't been life in college for a very long time. But now it is. Because the portal opens every December. And there's recruiting that's done all year long. And this just happens to be an odd set of circumstances that allows for roster acquisition in August. And there it comes. So I understand those of you that suggest, like, hey, this is not really fair to some of the kids that have been here for a long period of time. And I don't disagree with you on that at all. But it is reality. And reality is that Lane Kiffin is here to win. And if he thinks that a new tight end and a new rush end are going to help him win, he's going to bring them in. And if you're third on the depth chart and that moves you to fourth on the depth chart, sorry, it is what it is. Nobody complains about it with the New York Jets when they bring somebody in. It's not apples to apples, but you understand the point I'm making. Like, that's just reality in team sports. If you get an opportunity to make your team better, upset some feelings, so be it. And then last one here, talking about kind of managing the team and getting guys in this late.
We're recruiting these kids. We're trying to add them. We're trying to figure all that out, with the ruling coming of these guys being eligible to play, to have a fifth year. And again, on that, I think, in my opinion, knowing the information, I think it's really wrong to be critical of these kids. They were granted a fifth year by a judge saying that they were wronged by the NCAA and that they should have had the fifth year all along, like all the kids moving forward will have a fifth year. So I think there's a lot of misinformation that people don't understand why these are getting them. It's not because of some other reasons that people may think. It's simply that a judge decided that they should have had the fifth year like everyone moving forward will have. And so this group of athletes in all sports have started to win injunctions around the country to get that.
It's complicated. It's not black and white. It's just not. It's complicated. And to me, that kind of echoes what I said last week, where these players are the one group that didn't have an opportunity to play a fifth year post-COVID. Everybody got that COVID year, and now everybody gets a fifth year. And who's to say Daquan Wright wouldn't have elected to stay in college if he had the opportunity to do it? Who's to say that he would have made the same decision to go to the NFL? There are a lot of players that hold off going to the NFL or MLB or to the NBA because they're comfortable with the financial situation that college presents them. And these guys just didn't have that opportunity for a fifth year until the court said you do. So I'm not critical of the players either. I hear a lot of like, well, tell them to go get a real job. Well, I have a hard time with that. Everybody else is getting a fifth year. So Daquan White wants fifth year. He's going to get it. He's going to get a lot of money to do it. And Lane Kiffin doesn't want him playing for Ole Miss next year. He wants him playing for LSU. So I've pushed back some on some of the rules that have changed. Like, I don't like transferring 6 times in 5 years. Like, that's not my cup of tea. If I was the czar put in charge of this, you would get 1 free transfer, and if you transferred a second time, you'd have to sit out. That would be my preference. I don't have a concrete reason for that being my preference. I just suggest that's the way I would do it. That's my preference. And then you look at this circumstance. If this is the only time players go to training camps and come back, I'm fine with it. If it starts happening annually for players that have played 3 or 4 years of college that want to forego their eligibility, play, and then come back if training camp doesn't work out, I wouldn't be in favor of that. I would be in favor of this time not moving forward. You leave, you're done. That would be my preference. But that's all it is preference. And all these preferences that the NCAA has that they've turned into rules don't stand up in court. So it's convoluted and it's complicated, but I'll echo what I said 90 minutes ago. And I realize that some of you were listening 90 minutes ago, and I appreciate you all for listening to us for 2 hours, but some of you all just hop in when you're in the car for 20 minutes, and that's why the audience turns over. I tell you that all the time, but when I repeat myself, I think it bears mentioning that part of it, why I'm repeating myself. To me, this is only a problem if it occurs time and time and time again. If this is in a vacuum and we can condense it, I'm good. But ultimately, when we get into the stadium, it won't matter. When we get into the stadium to watch LSU and Clemson, when you sit down on your couch to watch LSU and Clemson, to me, the game is not cheapened or diminished or hurt by the fact that Daquan Wright went to practices with the Browns. My love of LSU and watching collegiate sports and being inside Tiger Stadium is not compromised because Sam Leavitt has a lot of money in his checking account. I don't look forward to LSU Clemson less because Max Johnson transferred 5 times. It doesn't cheapen it for me, personally. I'll be just as excited for LSU and Clemson in 2 weeks as I was for LSU and Virginia Tech when I was a sophomore in college. It's still the same to me. For some, it may not be. I get it. But it's still the same to me. And that's the great part of it. All the silly stuff is just that. It's silly. But the essence of why we love this stuff is still there. And I can't wait to watch it unfold in 2 weeks. All right, let's take a time out. When we come back, we'll chat about what Kellen Moore had to say back on Saturday. That's next.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Love telling you about Boudreaux's Electrical Services. They're online at boudreauxelectrical.com. That's boudreauxelectrical.com. Neil and Melissa have been running the show at Boudreaux's Electrical for 40 years. If you want a Generac home standby generator, there's only one phone call you need to make, and it's the same number they've had all 40 of those years over at Boudreaux's Electrical Services. That's, of course, 985-397-1562. That's 985-397-1562. Or 225-300-9389. That's 225-300-9389. Get that Generac home standby generator installed so you have the peace of mind of knowing that your power is not going to go out. I'm pretty confident our power just went out at Guarantee, and the generator kicked on, and we're rocking and rolling because we've got the generator. Get that peace of mind to know that your power is never going to go out. Boudreaux's Electrical Services, online at boudreauxelectrical.com.
Eagle 98.1, the rock station. Home of the Woody Show in the morning. Scotty Mack with Rock at Work. Michelle Southern with Southern Rock. Home of LSU sports since 1998. And rock for Baton Rouge since 1985. Take us anywhere with the Eagle 98.1 app. To join our VIP fan club, text ROCK to 225-499-9898. Eagle 98.1, the rock station.
People think it's all about game day. Let's go! But the real work happens in the off season.
Spring practices, early lifts,
Extra reps.
And we need a healthcare team that works as hard as we do.
At FMOL Health, our lay of the lake, we take care of LSU football year-round.
So we can do what we do best.
We trust the lake.
From championship athletes to everyday champions, trusted care starts here.
My name is Mike Krumholt, and I've been with First American Bank for 4 years.
What makes First American Bank special is we're able to offer all the products and services that any other big bank can offer. What sets us apart is being able to give that small town feel that someone can pick up the phone and they can talk to someone or stop by the branch and get excellent customer service.
The Ascension Parish Sheriff's Office protects and serves over 132,000 residents across the parish.
Keeping our community safe is our mission, and Rev Fiber plays a critical role in how we respond. Whether it's training in our special divisions, forensics investigations, or fielding emergency calls in our operations center, Rev Business connects our teams in real time, which is why we partner with Rev Business.
Get 6 months free of Rev Business services. Call or click today.
People ask why I chose to partner with Parrish. The answer is simple: trust. Whether you're choosing teammates, business partners.
This is the Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Guarantee Health Solutions. Guarantee Health Solutions, guiding healthcare forward. GuaranteeHealth.com.
Guarantee Health Solutions, bringing you our Monday shows online at GuaranteeHealth.com. That's GuaranteeHealth.com. Appreciate Rachel Fricky for stopping by at the end of hour number one. I can tell you more about Guarantee Health Solutions. They are guiding healthcare forward and do an awesome, awesome job. Rachel's got a background in hospitality from her days in the hotel industry and has brought that into the healthcare industry, where they can come in and help you with branding, with marketing. They love working with the front desk, as she mentioned back when we had her on at the end of hour number one. If you need to improve your patient experience in your healthcare network, they're there to do it at Guarantee Health Solutions. So check them out online at GuaranteeHealth.com. That's GuaranteeHealth.com. All right, Kellen Moore met with the media after the Saints were just beaten badly by the Rams. 34-0 was the final. And look, it was not good. It was not good on a lot of fronts. And one of the things that Kellen Moore talked about that was not great was the injuries, and the Saints are having a real hard time staying healthy. He mentioned what we learned on Saturday.
Yeah, a few guys out that we'll obviously gather more information with Devin in the hammy, Mo in the knee. Styles had a calf. Selly had the concussion. We had a few other guys, Bub with the hammy, and then Taylor had a stinger. So
it's a lot, and we just got news today that Ty Chandler has potentially got a significant knee injury that may cost him the entire season. So running back depth is really hurting. I know that the Saints were bad in just about every aspect of the game back on Saturday. The penalties were awful. There were a dozen of them. The turnovers were awful and untimely. Both quarterbacks threw a pick. One got returned for a touchdown. Putting the ball on the ground inside the 5-yard line by Chandler was no good. It was bad, and Kellen Moore was animated on the sideline. He talked about it.
I think just when you have controlled situations that you're missing opportunities. There's too many penalties that are 100% under our control, and we just got to play better football. So, we pushed these guys this week. We challenged them with some big-time opportunities with some joint practices in this game. And so I love the work collectively that we got over the course of this week. It's just, obviously we missed an opportunity here. And, I got to prepare our guys better. I got to get our guys ready to go for this opportunity. And obviously we didn't coach well enough.
I tend to agree with him on the notion that they got some good work in California. The game as the finale was a disaster, but they got good practices in with the Rams, good practices in with the Cowboys, had an opportunity to get their starters out there against NFL starters as opposed to the second and third teams out there on Saturday. So, yeah, I think it was a good week. Just the end was a complete dud. One thing that I tried to prize a positive out of the game on Saturday was that Kendre Miller did play. And look, Kamara's hurt. Devin Neal's been injured. Ty Chandler is hurt. Achin has missed a little bit of time. Like, you've had significant injuries at running back all over the place in terms of the number of them and some being significant just in their severity. And so seeing Kendre Miller on the field was a positive, and Kellen Moore talked about that.
Thought there were some physical runs in there. I was proud of him hopping in there. I think he did have some runs that were, taking advantage of some opportunities. And they're not all perfect runs. There's some dirty runs that he's able to get some really positive yards. So excited to see him back out there.
Look, the Saints' long run of the game was 9 yards. Okay, they did not do a good job of creating space up front and running the football, but just Kendre Miller's presence on the field, I thought was a good thing. Another negative from the game back on Saturday, well, you missed another kick. And this question was asked post-game. It's already been answered, and we'll get to that. But here's what Kellen Moore said. Hey, do you have any concern at kicker?
We'll evaluate it. We obviously didn't get down there enough, for them to not have an opportunity to kick it until the last few seconds of the game. We got to give ourselves more opportunities offensively.
Well, there are concerns at kicker, and they've been addressed to an extent because the Saints went out and made a move and acquired Daniel Carlson today as a free agent kicker. Carlson was a first-team All-Pro selection at kicker back in 2022. So not that long ago. It was 4 years ago, but in kicking terms, not forever and a day. He was a second-team All-Pro the year before that when he led the NFL in attempts and makes. He was 40 of 43 back in 2021 with Las Vegas. But you're talking about a guy who is an 87% career kicker on field goals. You're talking about a guy that made 5 from 50-plus last year, 7 from 50-plus the year prior. He hasn't been as good the last couple of years. He had a great season 3 years ago and hasn't been as good the last 2 years. 3 years ago, he was 26 out of 30, and he made every extra point, 32 out of 32. 2 years ago, he dipped to 85%. He was 34 out of 40, and last year, 22 out of 27 for the Raiders. That's down to 82%, which is not awesome. So it's not like his last 2 years have been great, but he's an upgrade over what you've had. The two guys that the Saints brought into camp have been awful for a month. So Carlson brings a veteran. Carlson brings a pedigree. Carlson brings a really strong track record to New Orleans. And I was looking for his age. He's 31. He will play this season at 31. He turns 32 in January. So in kicking terms, this is a guy who's still in his prime. He hasn't been as good the last couple of years, but he's got 8 years of NFL service. He played 17 games in every season of the last 5, 16 the 2 before that. Hasn't missed any time since 2018, which was his first year in the NFL. So been healthy, been productive, been good, been elite at times, and I think this makes all the sense in the world for the Saints. And I'll just say this out loud. I think when the Saints play their opener in Detroit in 3 weeks, Daniel Carlson's the kicker. I haven't seen anybody get cut today. I'm sure they will have a competition that goes through cut date at September 1st, but I think Daniel Carlson's going to be the guy. This is somebody that just has too many skins on the wall, and the guys have been too bad in Saints camp opposite him for there to be another option here. So it would stun me if Carlson's not the kicker. So I think this is a good move. And I talked about the importance of this a few times when we have heard practice reports. The Saints are not going to blow teams out. The Saints are not going to win consistently 31-13. They're just not. The Saints are going to win games 26-23. The Saints are going to win games 21-20. And you need to have a solid kicker if that's the case. And right now, pre-Carlson, they did not. And I think he answers that question. So good job by Mickey Loomis and his staff to go out and identify an option there and bring him in. I think it's a very, very good thing for the Saints, and I think he'll be the starting kicker. If he's not, I'll be pretty surprised. Our Monday show is brought to you by Guarantee Health Solutions, online at guaranteehealth.com. Chugging along here on this Monday. We'll get you kind of caught up on everything we've talked about as we cap things. RJ Lewis's hearing is something we'll talk about. We'll talk about LSU bringing in some transfer players from the football perspective, more from the scrimmage that we learned over the weekend as well. So we'll have a longer last segment here that involves take it or leave it as well. We'll step aside, take our last time out. It's the Hunt Palmer Show.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Fabry Chevrolet GMC, online at FabryChevrolet.com. That's FabryChevrolet.com. Fabry family's been at this for 35 years in the capital city, helping out with that wonderful customer service. Great inventory and fantastic deals. If you're looking for a truck, look no further. 2026 Chevy Silverado 1500s, 0% APR financing for 5 years, plus no monthly payments for the first 90 days. Incredible deals on Silverados there. And you also can get a 2026 GMC Sierra 1500 for 2.9% APR financing for 72 months, plus an additional $1,500 in allowance. That's now until August 31st as well. So make sure to make this week count. Great selection of pre-owned vehicles that'll meet any budget for you. Check it out online at FabryChevrolet.com or go up Highway 61 in St. Francisville. Get that great customer service at Fabry Chevrolet GMC. They're online at FabryChevrolet.com.
Every ounce of Raising Cane's lemonade has been hand-squeezed that day from fresh lemons before being served over our signature crushed ice. Because when you make it right, you can taste it in every bite. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers, one love.
I'm Lawyer Locke Meredith. If you're battling an insurance company because of a wreck not your fault and they're not calling you back or being fair, whether you hire us at all, give us a call, 272-5555, or email Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates. You have nothing to lose.
Hello, I'm Collins Meredith. If you've been injured on the job, you likely have a workers' compensation claim, but you may also have a tort claim which opens up significant recovery rights not normally available for a work injury. If this is you, call us or come see us at Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates.
Bayou Ford has 0% APR with no payments for 90 days and $1,000 down payment assistance on select 2026 Ford models.
Plus the complimentary 7-year powertrain warranty that comes with all new Bayou Automotive vehicles.
If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Natural gas from Atmos Energy is a gentle warmth that starts your day. The blue flame that turns simple ingredients into traditions. And the comfort of a shower that never gets cold. Natural gas is the energy that brings your home to life by fueling backyard fun, cozy moments, and bringing people together. Natural gas fuels the moments that make a house a home. Atmos Energy, your natural gas company.
Who bears the standard? Who sets the bar? It's not those satisfied by low-hanging fruit or by taking it easy. No, the standard is set by the best of us, by those who work hard. Dig deeper. Give more. At Sunshine, we're proud to provide John Deere products that work hard for you, the standard bearers. Find the dealer nearest you at sunequip.com.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Guarantee Health Solutions. Guarantee Health Solutions, guiding healthcare forward. GuaranteeHealth.com.
Start to the week here on this Monday, brought to you by Guarantee Health Solutions. Last week of the quote-unquote off season. It'll be game week next week, and I'm sure football season will fly right on by as it always does. I was on campus earlier today. We got our some of our gear for the football broadcast this year, and so went up to grab that. And campus was just a madhouse. I parked illegally. I did. I couldn't find a spot. I was just trying to get in there, grab 4 bags, and leave. I was going to be in there for like 5 minutes, and I just didn't have the heart to park all the way out the old front 9 to come in and get 5 bags. So I zipped into a non-spot, and I was only there for like 10 minutes. No big deal. And they didn't put a ticket on my mirror, which is excellent news.
Would you have paid that ticket?
No.
Okay.
I got a bajillion tickets when I was covering LSU, going to the basketball practice facility every day, and they were still sending them to my parents' house, like because they had my information from college.
Yeah.
And one year for Christmas, my mom took these 3 parking ticket notices and put them in my stocking.
Oh man,
it's like a Christmas gift. I did not pay those. I don't know that they have the ability to hold my diploma anymore, so I'm not going to obey the campus traffic.
Yeah, you
tickets.
know, I think you might have a couple years removed from that. I think you're good now.
Yeah,
I think you should be good.
The statute of limitations after 15 years out of school is probably good. But campus is buzzing, and we're almost there to football season. Just a couple of things. Matt Moscona wrote up a scrimmage report this weekend at LouisianaSports.net, and I took a couple of notes from it. Sounds like the defense did a really good job early, forced 2 straight 3-and-outs to begin, which is great to hear about the defense. And then what you want to hear, because you don't want the defense to just overwhelm. You don't want the offense to just overwhelm. You want counterpunches. Trey'Dez Green, big play. Jackson Harris, big play. Winnie Watkins, big play. Caden Durham had 2 70-plus yard touchdown runs in this scrimmage. Great to hear from him. I love hearing the back and forth. I love hearing the tug of war. I love hearing that both sides were doing some good things. And here's maybe the biggest thing that I saw. There were conflicting reports about how well Sam Leavitt played on Saturday at the scrimmage. Matt had a thing up on his piece that said Leavitt shines, made some great throws. And then you had some other reports that said that Leavitt maybe didn't play as well. I'm not as concerned about either one of those. What was evident in every report is that Sam Leavitt was able to run significantly, was able to make some plays with his feet. And obviously he wasn't getting tackled, but the fact that he was running around, I've told y'all that we're not going to know how healthy Sam Leavitt is or is not on that foot from what the media was able to see at practice. We're just not able to see enough. But there were 500 people at this scrimmage on Saturday, so they saw it. They saw Sam Leavitt run around. They saw him looking healthy and able to do the things that he did at Arizona State, which is make guys miss, to extend plays, and to do things with his legs. And so he was able to do that. That's a very, very, very good thing. And then the offensive line was the same as it had been. Jordan Seaton, Bo Bordelon, Braylon Moore, Aluba, and Weston Davis. That group has not changed the entirety of camp. So that's your 5. Those are your guys that are going to be out there to start. Undoubtedly, there will be bumps and bruises along the way on the offensive front, and we'll see who it is that plugs in behind them. Obviously, you would imagine that you're going to see William Satterwhite as a swing player on that offensive line. I think Devin Harper's a guy that makes a lot of sense, and perhaps Sean Tompkins as well at left tackle. But that first 5 has not been tinkered with at all. That's been the guys, and Coach Wolford and Coach Craig have kind of made that determination. So that's there's not a position battle there. I wrote a piece up at LouisianaSports.net talking about there are 3 kind of position battles that I'm looking at. It's defensive tackle. It is running back. It's wide receiver. Basically, those are the spots that I'm looking at, and perhaps safety, where Jace Thomas is really making a push that he may be the starter. Tamarcus Cooley may not be in that starting lineup against Clemson, which would be interesting because he's been a multi-year starter at 2 places, at NC State and at LSU. But Jace Thomas may have won that spot, so that's an interesting take that Matt pulled away there. So we're inching closer to football here. Just 12 days between LSU and Clemson. Right now, take it or leave it.
Take it or leave it.
Take it or leave it.
Today's hottest stories in sports, news, and sometimes even Hunt's life. The question is, will he take them or leave them?
All right, so got a nice little take it or leave it slate today. So a 47-year-old California pastor, Justin Buzzard, is joining the San Jose City College Jaguars as a defensive end. Buzzard's last game was 30 years ago, but he says his body has been holding up a lot better than he thought. So pastors coming back to college football, take it or leave it.
So he's got to be about 50. If it was 30 years ago when he last played, you figure that was...
He's 47. He's 47.
47? So, I mean, that's a bad idea. 47-year-olds do not need to be playing tackle football.
As a pastor.
That's a bad idea. Leave that all day long.
Leave it alone.
Can't do it. You're going to blow an Achilles. You're going to pull a hammy. You're going to break something.
His body feels great.
You're not supposed to be out there. You're not Frank Gore.
You're not Frank Gore.
You're not Frank Gore.
But tell me this, though. At what point is there any more like eligibility ever going to run out? I mean, we got guys 47
Well,
coming
if you
back.
didn't go to college, your clock didn't start. So,
Right.
yeah, you can come back and make that happen.
You know what? That is a great point. So let's dive into this one. San Francisco 49ers owner Jed York was arrested on Sunday after allegedly tried to pay a woman a little over $100 for sex. Court documents obtained by the California Post on Monday. York responded to an ad on a known prostitute website in Columbian County, Ohio, and he arranged to have sexual activity with a female for $140. Yes, $140. York then went to a meeting location, a trailer park in East Palestine, Ohio, where he was taken into custody after an agent was sitting there waiting for him from the Human Trafficking Task Force. So, billionaires in the trailer parks, take it or leave it.
I'm going to leave this. This is bad on a number of levels. That appears to be some discount shopping he's doing there. Not great.
Sale.
Not great.
Yeah.
Not great at all. Not a great place for him to be.
Nope.
You're a billionaire. Probably don't need to spend a lot of time in the trailer parks.
Not at all.
Just don't do that. Just not great. Not great.
But, we got their owner doing this when we have the substation knocking out half the roster. So,
substation's trouble. Prostitutes are trouble. It's just not. Got to make better decisions, people. Got to make better decisions.
And this also goes hand in hand with the Brandon Ayuk saga. So we got him going on with this. We got the owner getting caught up with the prostitutes. It's just whatever's going on with the Kyle Shanahan, whatever he had going on with his car wreck too. So the 49ers,
that was a big car wreck.
Yeah, it's a little rough right now in 49ers land. So the New England Patriots are reportedly trading wide receiver Kayshon Boutte to the Houston Texans for safety Jalen Reed and a draft pick. Let's see what else came in there. So this is after Jaden Higgins suffered a season-ending ACL injury. So Nico Collins and Kayshon Boutte, I can't even say Boutte. Boutte enough for CJ Stroud. Take it or leave it.
Leave it.
Just leave it alone.
That's underwhelming. Like I'm torn on Kayshon because it's so interesting that he's not fast. He doesn't jump all that well. Doesn't have the best
routes,
the best hands, but he just tends to produce.
Yeah,
it's crazy. But him as the legit number 2. I realize they were in the Super Bowl last year, but legit number 2, I don't know about that.
You did bring up a great point. He's not overly fast, but a lot of his plays in NFL are deep balls. He's a deep threat in the NFL. And he ran, I'm pretty sure, he ran like a 4.6 and a 40. So last but not least, Domino's is taking pizza delivery to the train tracks with a limited time service that allows passengers to order the chain's pizza and have it delivered directly to their seats. The service is a collaboration between Domino's and a booking app, Trainline, for its first ever Train Through, which it's pretty much just in the UK over the holiday weekend. So passengers can order their Domino's ahead of their journey before a delivery driver meets the train during a scheduled stop and brings the pizza on board to the train. So Train Through delivery pizza. Take it or leave it.
Take it. I'm good with pizza in any setting. Pizza is awesome, and if you want it on the train, awesome. I'm taking a train in Europe on the bye week, so maybe I'll get a pizza.
No, you got to get a pizza. No. Now you can't just say that. Now you have to do it.
The thing is, and trust me, I love Domino's pizza.
Okay,
love it. But if I'm in Europe,
European Domino's.
Am I gonna get Domino's? That's the question. And maybe so.
Yeah.
Maybe so, but I'm not married to that idea just yet.
Yeah, European Domino's.
I love pizza.
It just can't hit the same.
It's
though.
so good. Pizza is awesome.
It is, but America, we got a lot of, let's say, some crazy things in our ingredients.
We got plenty of crazy.
They're probably don't have those.
I like all pizzas. I like stuffed crust pizza. I
love stuffed crust.
Single slice pizza. I love Detroit style pizza, deep dish pizza, white pizza. I love it. Just give me pizza.
You're a big Chicago guy.
I am.
Have you had the tavern style from Chicago?
I have. I've had it. Yep.
So you prefer that one over the deep dish they have?
Yeah. Deep dish is a lot.
Okay.
Like it's lasagna basically. It tastes really good, but then what are you gonna do after you've just eaten that for lunch?
Sleep.
That's the deal. So I would prefer the tavern style, but they're both great. I don't recall having bad pizza.
I mean, depends on the like cheap pizza. Not like an actual restaurant pizza. Yeah, but cheap pizza, you can get some bad cheap pizza.
I like frozen pizza.
Yeah,
it's all good.
You're big on DiGiorno's. No,
Red
Robin.
Red Baron.
Red Baron. I said Red
DiGiorno.
Robin. I'm the Red Baron. So that's it for Take It or Leave.
All right. That's it for Take It or Leave It here on this Monday, brought to you by Guarantee Health Solutions. They are online at guaranteehealth.com. That's guaranteehealth.com. Open the show today talking about LSU's decision to go get a couple of former college players that tested the professional ranks, then coming back. It's a whole saga. That's where I started the show today. You can find that at Hunt on LSU. Reaction to Saints and Rams. You can find that at Hunt on Saints. It was not good. I tried to pull a positive or two out of there, but it was very difficult to do in a 34-0 beatdown. Donovan Dent to LSU basketball is a big, big deal. I talked about it at 1:30. If you missed that, you can go catch that on demand as well. I just checked on the Twitterverse for RJ Lewis's name. Have not gotten a verdict publicly in Baton Rouge court to see if he can get through and get eligible. So we'll update you on that on LouisianaSports.net if something happens. Thanks to Rachel Fricky for Guarantee Health Solutions for being with us. We met the freshman for the last time, a little Kellen Moore and Lane Kiffin sound as well. Missed any of it? Catch it on demand wherever you find your sound at Hunt Palmer Show. That's going to drive you home next on AFR. We'll see you tomorrow. Same time, same place.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
First American Bank and Trust. First American Bank and Trust. They're online at FABT.com. That's FABT.com. Started up in 1910. I'm not a mathematician, but that was 116 years ago. And they're still at it. And they're growing. And they've grown to 25 locations throughout Southeast Louisiana. It doesn't matter where you are. That could be in St. Tammany or Tangipahoa, up I-12, maybe in St. James, St. John, Lafourche, Terrebonne. I was down the bayou speaking in Thibodaux on Thursday. There's First American Bank and Trust near you if you're in Southeast Louisiana. And the best thing about banking local is that the decisions are made locally. So if you've got a commercial loan that's pending, if you've got a request in for a personal loan, that's going to be something that's decided on in Southeast Louisiana. You don't have to call a call center in Chicago or San Francisco. It's right here in Southeast Louisiana. It's First American Bank and Trust. Check them out. 25 locations throughout Southeast Louisiana. You can always find them on the website, FABT.com.
People ask why I chose to partner